Welcome back to Treadmill Review Guru. Today we are going to compare the Nordictrack EXP 7i with the Sole F63. These are both folding treadmills. They're very affordable, priced right around $1,000 each. They're good for walking, jogging, hiking, and they do fold up when you're finished using them. So let's take a closer look at how they compare with each other and what features we like the most. Let's take a closer look at the construction and some of the functional features of the EXP 7i compared with the Sole F63. So right here you can see the EXP 7i has a relatively compact footprint. It is 60 inches high. So right up here you got 60 inches, it's 35 inches wide and about 77 inches long. By comparison, the Sole, because it has this tablet holder, is about 55 inches high here, but then the tablet holder adds a little more height. It's also 35 inches wide, but it is 82 inches long. However, they both have the same running surface. You have 22 inches of width and 60 inches of length on both treadmills. So the Sole just extends a little bit farther, even though the belt is the same size. One possibility could be because it does have a slightly larger motor hood there at the front. So just kind of be aware, you do need just a little bit more of a footprint with the Sole. They both have a 3.0 horsepower motor and they're equally powerful. When we turn on one and listen and run and then turn on the other one, they're roughly compatible as far as motor power. The Nordictrack EXP 7i will support 300 pounds of user weight and the treadmill itself weighs about 220 pounds. The Sole F63 will support 325 pounds of user weight, so a little bit more, but it's also slightly heavier at 255 pounds. As I mentioned, they do both fold up and lock into place. So let me demo that for you real quick. You have a grab bar down here underneath the deck, and you just lift it and hold it and fold it up. So you can see the EXP 7i is folded into release. You're just gonna press down on that foot lever. By comparison, the Sole also folds. You also have a grab bar down there and it's gonna fold up like that. So that's kind of how they look folded. To unfold them, they both have hydraulic assist. So that means that you can just let it drop down on its own once you've released the folding mechanism. So right here on the Sole, you're just gonna grab that yellow lever and it will drop down on its own. Okay, it kind of has that brace there at the bottom and drops softly to your floor. The EXP 7i has a foot release, so you press your foot against that bar and it also will drop down nice and smooth. So you don't have to lean down, bend over, and support the weight of the deck as it drops down to the floor. Both treadmills have that hydraulic assist, which is a really nice feature. The EXP 7i will incline to 12%, whereas the Sole will incline to 15%. So you do get a little bit more incline on the Sole. And just to give you an idea, let me start this here. I'm gonna start the EXP 7i and we'll do 2 miles an hour. So you can hear there's just a touch of motor noise in the background, not too much. Just as you turn that on and let it run. And then I'll pause it. By comparison, let's run the Sole real quick. We'll also do 2 miles an hour. So the Sole is just a touch quieter. So if you're looking for something that just has minimal noise output, the Sole is a little bit quieter. So while it's running, I'm going to incline it to the 15%. So let's take it all the way up to the top. And one thing I love about Sole machines is their incline motor is super smooth and very, very quiet. There are times when I have to get off the machine and make sure it's actually inclining because I can't always tell. You don't have to hold on to the handlebars. You can just continue to walk and that deck will incline at the top. So over here, if I do the same thing, I'm gonna take this up to 12%, running it at 2 miles an hour. So you can see it's just a little noisier. Still functional, works great. It's just a little more noise on the EXP 7i. So the Sole should almost be there. And that's your full 15% incline. By comparison, the Nordictrack is going to take us up to about a 12% incline. And it does take just a minute for that motor to get where it needs to go, but the nice thing is it's really smooth while you're walking on it. So there's your 12% incline compared to 15. They do look roughly comparable. It would be hard to tell a huge difference in just that 3% grade, but it is something to be aware of as far as training variables and things that you might want to use on your machine. So I'm going to stop them both, and you can just kind of see that they'll drop back down. They have a 12 mile an hour max speed. So both treadmills will provide you plenty of speed variables with intermittent speeds in between. So let's take a closer look between the two consoles, between the EXP 7i and the Sole F63. The major difference with both machines is really in the console. So you can see the EXP 7i does have a touchscreen. It's rather small at just 7 inches, so that's something to be aware of. However, it does include all the iFit training and content, which means that you have the automated incline and speed. You can just step on the machine, load one of these programs, and the machine will automatically adjust for you. You can also override that, which I've done right here because you can see it's not adjusting. I've set it nice and low so that it doesn't make any noise. So you have control, or you can turn the control over to the automated system. I also really like the overall layout of the console. I find it to be very clean and easy to use. You do have your incline buttons right here. There's a button for each incline on the left. You have your speed buttons on the right. There is a button for each speed on the right. And so each time you hit one of these, it'll take you to that specific speed. If I want to tailor it just a little bit, I can hit like 3.3 really fast and it will take me to 3.3. You can see it's gonna pick up. I could do 5.6. So it kind of has some customization options within that those speed buttons, which I like. And then down here on the lower panel, you have more adjustments. This will change your incline by 0.5, and the manual speed buttons down here on the bottom panel will change it by 0.1. So you can go like 3.1, 3.2 sort of a thing. You also have your start stop button and your safety key. Another thing that I really like about the EXP 7i is the fan actually works. So it works. You can't adjust it, so it just kind of blows straight up towards you. But it does provide nice airflow, and you have 4 different settings. Low, medium, high, and then automated, which kind of correlates with your exertion level. You can also adjust the volume of your iFit program. You can adjust the music volume up or down, the trainer volume up or down, and then you can adjust the balance, like the master volume. So you do have quite a bit of customization options there. It is Bluetooth enabled, so you can sync. If you have a phone, you can sync your phone and listen to your music through the speakers if you want. It will also sync with a chest strap. And iFit does include very specified heart rate training. So it has a lot of options. Even though that touchscreen is just a little bit smaller, you do have really good functionality in this console. And the screen itself will tip up or down so that you can kind of adjust the visibility and make sure that you reduce overhead glare or whatever. So let's take a closer look at the Sole F63. Okay, so here you have the console of the Sole F63. And the Sole machine is very quiet and functional. I do find the console to be just a little bit clunky and harder to use. It's not quite as intuitive as the display. So there are a few things to be aware of. However, the 6.5-inch LCD screen I do like because you have very large digital numbers. So even though the screen itself isn't huge, I actually feel like the metric display on this console is easier to see than on the EXP 7i because the metric bar at the top of that touchscreen is a little smaller, and this gives you these big block numbers. So it's just a little bit easier to see. It's also backlit, as you can see, with the black numbers. So you have your incline buttons down here and your programs. You don't have any preset buttons up on the top of the console, and you also have incline buttons here, but they kind of skip a little bit, and I find it to be somewhat random. So you've got incline buttons for 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, and 15. And then if you want to find an intermediate incline, you have to use the manual buttons in between. So it can take just a minute to get where you want it to be. The same with the speed. So you have speed buttons down here, but it's not for every speed. You've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, and 12. And then once again, if you want to find an intermediate speed, you either have to hit your speed buttons here, or you actually do have speed buttons on the handrail. And if you hit 9 twice, it's not like it's going to take you to 9.9. So you don't have that feature on this console. For me, it's just a little clunky. It's a little harder to get exactly where I want to go right when I'm going to go there. So like for interval training where you have to make really quick adjustments between speed, this one's a little harder to navigate. However, I do like the fact that it has preloaded programs and the Sole F63 does not require internet. So this is one of those machines, you just plug it in and it starts and you can jump on and go. You can put it in a basement, a garage, maybe a room that doesn't have as good of a Wi-Fi signal and you don't have to worry about it. It also does not require subscription. So you don't have any ongoing expenses, even though iFit's included free for that first year. After that, if you do want to continue to use it, you do have a subscription cost each month. So no ongoing subscription with this, and Sole is one of the few machines that will sync directly with Zwift. So if you like to use the Zwift app, there is a little ledge right here. You could put a tablet, or you can even put your tablet up here. You have two different options, and it will sync with Zwift. You don't even need a footpod. So that's something to be aware of. It does include the heart rate grips right here. They don't have those on the EXP7i, but it also comes with a chest strap that will sync directly with the machine, and you do have customized heart rate programs built in. So a few features that people might like or dislike, kind of depending on how you feel about it, is on the Sole machines, you have adjustment buttons on the handrails. So right over here on the left, I can easily adjust the up and down of the incline while I'm on the machine, and I don't have to lift my hand up here. And you can also adjust the speed on the right handrail. So that's kind of one feature that I do like. It also has multiple pockets, both on either side, and your expansive storage tray down underneath. So that just kind of gives you an overview of the Sole machine. This has a fan here at the top, and it does pivot just a little bit, but I have to say, it doesn't really provide much airflow. If you're the type of person that likes to have the fan on all the time, like I am, this fan isn't really going to provide much. You're going to have a standing fan or something next to it. And the speakers are adequate, but not great. They will sync with your phone and you can play your music there. But you know, personally, I think headphones would be better. So that just kind of gives you an overview of the two consoles and some of their features and benefits and how they compare. So hopefully this video has kind of given you a better idea of some of the similarities and differences between the Nordictrack EXP 7i and the Sole F63. Some of the things that we really like about both machines. Both of these machines fold. So you can fold the deck up to save space. Both have a 3.0 horsepower motor, so they're similarly powered, and they have a roughly compatible cushioning. They are both very affordable as well, priced right around $1,000 each, so these are a good option for pretty much any user. And they work well for walking, hiking, jogging, you know, quick little runs and stuff like that. A few things that we specifically like about the EXP 7i, it does include iFit. So you just get more training content. It's constantly updated, and you've got targeted metrics for heart rate training. It will sync with Bluetooth. You can sync your wireless headphones. Even though that screen's just a little small, it does kind of enhance the functionality of the overall machine. A few things that we like about the Sole F63 is it doesn't require subscription. So you save yourself that ongoing expense, which is a nice benefit. It also syncs with Zwift, so you can use some third-party apps that will sync directly with the machine. And it's extremely quiet. As we demonstrated, it's just a little bit more quiet in operation, and it does incline to that 15%, whereas the EXP 7i only inclines to 12%. So just a few things to kind of keep in mind when you're evaluating these machines. A lot of times we'll get questions about machines that are similarly priced, and people kind of want to know a little bit of background information. So if you'd like more details on each machine, check out our written reviews at treadmillreviewguru.com. For current pricing, click the links below. And as always, if you have any questions or comments on either of these machines, leave them down in the comments below. We'd love to know what you think. My name's Kristen with Treadmill Review Guru, and we will see you again soon.